This video is on synthesis reactions. This is the first of 5 types that you will learn about. So the word synthesis means composition. A synthesis reaction is going to be when you have things that combine. So on the on the reactant side, you will see elements just listed out, something plus something. On the product side will be the combination of those two. So the general format will be some element, and I'm just going to use letters to represent them, plus another element that are going to make the combination of the two. Okay, so that's the general format, what they will all look like. What we'll typically see is metals will react with nonmetals. So like A might be a metal, and X might be a nonmetal, to form ionic compounds. Remember, that's what an ionic compound is, a metal combined with a nonmetal. So you use the charges of each element to determine the formula of the product. So let's go through 3 examples with this. Okay, so the first one I have Al plus O2. So I'm going to draw in my arrow, my yield sign. And to combine them, I need to figure out their charges. So this is where your periodic table is going to be handy. So looking at my table, I know that aluminum is a positive 3 charge, and oxygen is a negative 2. So any subscripts that you see, like this 2 for diatomic elements, that will not change anything about combining them. It has nothing to do with that. We'll take care of that when we balance our reaction. So we just look at aluminum plus oxygen, and we do exactly what we did in chapter 7. Where we crisscross the charges. So the 3 becomes the subscript for the O, and the 2 becomes the subscript for the aluminum. So I'm going to write Al2O3 as my product. Okay. So now what I need to do is balance it. So I go through and let's see. There are 2 aluminums on the product side, so I need 2 on the reactant side, so I'll put a 2 there. Then I can look at my oxygen and say, well, I have 2 and I have 3. So think of lowest common denominator. What's the lowest number they both multiply into? In this case, 6. So I'm going to multiply 2 times 3. And then on the product side, I'm going to do 3 that are already there times 2 to get 6. That 2 also changes my aluminum. So there are 4. So I'm going to go back to here and change this to 4. Okay, so another one. So Na plus Cl2. Let's do the same thing. Sodium is plus 1. Chlorine is minus 1. Again, ignore the subscript. Okay, we're just looking at charges of the elements by themselves. Plus 1 and minus 1 will cancel out. So I have NaCl. Now I go through and balance. If I have 2 chlorines to start, I need 2 to finish. So I'm going to put a 2 here in front of the NaCl. And that's going to affect my sodium, so I go back and put a 2 in front of the sodium in the reactant side. All right, let's do one more. Calcium for the next one is plus 2, and sulfur is minus 2. So when I combine them, I get CaS. Remember, they cancel out. And to balance it, it already is balanced. Those are my favorite ones. All right, so those are synthesis reactions when you have 2 elements that combine to make one product.